Hello, you are welcome once again to Matters Arising, the flagship talk show of KAFTAN TV. By the way, KAFTAN stands for King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network Television. And this is a program, a show where we talk about international and national issues, trending national and international issues, and we ensure that it's conversational, it's engaging, it's incisive, and we also, as much as possible, want you to be a part of it, and through the phone, so that we can have a robust discussion and analysis. And usually the cast is made up of KAFTAN TV's seasoned broadcast journalists. And my name is Dayo Omogun.
And I am Segun Ojelade.
Like I said before, we expect that in the course of the program, you will weigh in to let us have your own side, your own contributions concerning the topic that we're bringing on board. And without wasting any time, we're going to be talking about this edition is the Jamb Utme results. If you have somebody, a child, a youngster who is within that age range, you probably already know that there's some news going around saying that more than about 75% of the candidates who sat for the exam came out with lower than 200 score, over 400. And ordinarily, most of the universities, most of the schools set their pass mark, their cutoff mark at around 200 or a little bit above 200. So what it smells of right now is that there were 1.955 million candidates who sat for the exam, and if you have 75 going to 76% of them who didn't make 200%, 200 over 400, then that means you have 1.5 million whose chances are jeopardized. And that's what we intend to talk about. And for me, I'll start by saying, in the first instance, I hope this doesn't offend anybody. We're just trying to tell ourselves the truth. We're just trying to look for solutions and all that. In the first instance, do we really need a Jamb exam? Do we really even need a Jamb exam in the first instance? Because you do a Jamb exam, adding cost to cost for parents and guardians, all kinds of inconveniences. Some students had to go sit for exams at 6:30. If your child is to be in the exam center at 6:30, when would he have gotten out of the house? And then against the background of all the security challenges that we currently face in this country. So for me, do we even need a Jamb? Because you do Jamb exam and then you go and do post UTME exam
in the various institutions.
What kind of stress and double cost is that? Children will first of all travel all the way from where they are to the school. Why don't we just skip Jamb? I'm sorry, but I'm just being as practical as possible. I'm sorry, because of course Jamb staffers cannot be happy about this. But we're saying, if Jamb exam was the only one that was necessary, we understand that. But you do a Jamb exam, it does not qualify you, it does not give you a space inside the university. You still have to go and do a post-UTME exam. Why do we have to stress ourselves like this? That's the way I want to really come first of all on this issue. Has it gotten to the point when we need to scrap Jamb? I have no issues with setting good standards. I'm happy that at least you're saying, because what it brings out again is a whole lot of issues. That a lot of our secondary school students are really not grounded. That's why you have issues with just 200, less than 50%. 50%, because 200 over 400 is 50%. So 1.5 million out of 1.955 million candidates didn't score 50%. That's terrible. But first of all, I'm saying, should we still even have Jamb. Let it be that they go and fight their spaces in the universities. And if they fail, they fail.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't really share your view about whether we should
continue with Jamb.
I don't see it. I mean, on account of this last exam.
No,
it doesn't.
It's not necessarily because of this. It's not necessarily. No, I said so, I really love the fact that the standards are being upheld. Yeah.
There is need for a uniform matriculation examination into tertiary institutions. Yes, it's a standard of measurement.
Yes.
And it's further increases or amplifies the competition into matriculation examination, entering into higher school.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, any measurement to determine who is good, who is qualified to go into any kind of job, into higher institution, is good. Is laudable. It should be recommended, because
what about the duplication?
No.
When it becomes like duplication?
No. Now the students, you know, in Nigeria today, one thing that we should continue to emphasize is the fact that there is need for competition. There is need for us to increase the level of competition among the children or the youth, the young adults, so that they will know the value of preparing, of studying. You know, if it is just finish from secondary school, go straight to the university of your choice, and then and then fight for placement. In fact, there is no fight anymore.
You think so?
Oh, no, there won't be any fight anymore.
There
will not be.
It will be reduced, but it will be there.
It will be greatly reduced and whittled down.
But much more than that, costs would have been reduced.
No, imagine all the private universities that we have around now. How easy it will be for students to just enter any of the. Imagine the situation in our secondary schools, in some states now, especially in Ogun State. It is impossible for a child who does not meet the cutoff mark of a particular secondary school. There is a grouping. There's already a grouping of grade A secondary school, model secondary school, or that there are gradings like that.
Yes.
So if the cutoff mark for a particular school is 65%, if you score 64.5 in Ogun State, you will not enter that school.
Okay, that's admission from primary
to secondary school. Right. In Ogun State, the child will not enter it. If you like, know the governor. It's something that I have tried. So if you have a child,
which is good,
which is very good.
Yes.
Like a friend's child, their school is just in front of a secondary school, a very good secondary school at that. And the father wants the girl to go to that school from primary school, primary 6 to class 1. So the exam was written. The cutoff mark for that school was 45%. The girl scored 40. And we said, okay, Shebi, we know.
It's close to, I know somebody.
My friend is Kinikon, the principal is this sister to this place. Like we do in Nigeria. There is nothing we didn't try.
Didn't work.
We went up to the PS, permanent secretary. because we know all of them. It didn't work. The girl is back in primary school now, studying again to pass. And the rainy thing on the girl that if you don't pass, you will not enter that school
chance.
next again.
Yes.
So I think it's a very good system, but the Jamb system must be cleaned up.
No, just before you go ahead, now the primary school to secondary school, this thing that you talked about now, has to do. It's not as if the process was unified.
It's unified. It's common entrance.
Oh, it's through the common entrance.
It's through the common entrance. State common entrance examination.
Okay.
I love what the Ogun State government is doing. I don't know whether it is done in other states, but there is nothing we did not try. That girl did not get admission into that school, but you see, it was a very clean examination. We didn't travel hundreds of kilometers to go and write it.
Exactly.
And then the child does not have to wake up at 4 a.m. to get to the school. And then we didn't get there, and then the child starts looking for the desk or the bench where she will sit, where her number is to write for the examination. There were no technical
hitches.
No technical hitches. The paper, there was no malpractices. The exam paper did not leak. All those things that I mentioned happened in Jamb.
Yeah, I know. That's what.
So the Jamb has to clean up its system. That's just it. There were too many bottlenecks here and there, which students and their parents had to face in this examination. Some of them could even have accounted for some of the failures. Or some of
yes, when a child has been stressed, overstressed.
Or your system, like we read, the papers, the system working. Just shut down.
It shuts down, yeah.
You know, even before the students submitted their answer scripts.
Yeah.
So I believe that Jamb has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, so clearly our opinions are slightly divergent. But the truth is that, again, when we come on matters arising, we're speaking individually, and so it's not as if it's a corporate stand, and so it's okay. And like I said before, I am for that standard to remain high, but I have a problem with duplicating cost and stress. Yes. I have a problem with duplicating cost and stress.
Yes.
In an economy that is challenged, yes. in a country where people have no jobs, they just manage to pay for the Jamb form, and then they will now look for money again for the child to travel all the way from whatever it is to the school, to where the school is, and there's no guarantee of anything. We must find ways of making life easy for ourselves.
Until very recently, the post-UTME
yes, never existed. So the point is, it's either that you are going to scrap Jamb or you scrap the post-UTME. Because, please tell me, Segun, what is the essence of having Jamb exam and then having post-UTME?
Well, number one of the problems, one of those things that educationists have told us is that Jamb may not be the true test.
Exams generally are not. It's not a true. It's not the true test of a person's ability.
Yeah, ability that not all those who come with very high marks
are necessarily good or brilliant or something
to enter the universities. And there are some universities that play the ostrich. And they say their system, their standards, they must not be compromised. That they have to supervise or have a say in who
gets into their school.
But the truth is that
if that is true, so remove the bottleneck of Jamb.
But the truth is that many of them are now enjoying the huge money they make from.
That's the whole point.
Yes,
I'm hinting at. That's the whole point. You have to pay a post-UTME fee, exam fee, and then look at the associated cost of transport,
in fact,
of maybe taking a hotel space or something, or staying with someone, the inconvenience, all that.
In fact, some of them conduct post-UTME exams for a whole week. I'm telling you,
yes,
you know, batches. They conduct it in batches because the number of students are so huge, and they
don't have the facilities to.
And all of them must have paid.
Of course,
UTME is
if you do 5,000 naira for about 100,000 students, that's a whole lot of money.
There's a whole lot of money. So the universities have turned that into a revenue generation initiative.
Government needs to look at that and do something about it.
Well, what can the government do now? You know, many of those institutions that are conducting these post-UTME examinations are owned by government. So it's a big relief for this. Yes, for the government, because the universities are looking for money wherever they can find it. Even if the parents and guardians have to be the victim or who do you think in our economy is easy to fleece money from? It's parents. Now, but you see, Jamb, to me, has come to stay. In fact, Jamb to me is very, very necessary. It is the late comers now
that should be removed.
Government should find.
I do know, for me, one of those two should be removed. I mean, if you, for many years, all that was required was a Jamb. It was a Jamb process many years.
Yes.
From around 76 when or thereabouts when Jamb came into force and all that. For over 30 years.
When we were still ticking.
Exactly. So for me, I think that you either stay with that and remove these, because you see, I'm looking from the angle of the pain of the parents. These same parents, after paying for Jamb and paying for UTME exams, fees, transport, whatever is associated with it, also have to now pay, in recent times, acknowledgement, acceptance fee.
That's been on for a long time.
Yes, acceptance fee for the admission.
Yes.
For me, those are just all kinds of names for the fleecing that you talked about.
Yes. See, the truth is, gone are the days of Obafemi Awolowo UP.
Free education.
UP, yes, is long gone. Education is no longer cheap. Seriously, let's just tell ourselves the truth.
But is it not an irony that even when it has become more expensive, the quality has dipped?
No, that's a different issue entirely.
Okay, maybe we'll leave that.
Education today across the world is to be paid for.
Sure,
so,
yes.
It's just that we need to streamline.
Good.
And remove unnecessary costs. Billings on government. But the truth, if you want quality education for your child, you should be able to pay for it. Don't tell me that the economy is down, people are hungry, and the rest of it.
Yes, but do you also realize that in many climes, education is taken to be a right, the right of a child.
It still remains a right.
No, it can't be a right of a child if you have to pay and pay through your nose for it.
No. See,
if you're going to pay through your nose for it, it's no longer a right. It becomes a privilege.
No. See, education in Nigeria today, I can say, is still among the cheapest. I'm not talking about those who decide to send their children to nursery and primary school, private secondary school, and private universities. It is what they look for that they got. And don't let them also tell you that the public education or public education is bad. No, it's not.
No, but in many cases, it's bad.
No. Go and look. Go even check this Jamb that has just been written. Well, Jamb will give us statistics later this week. Go and look at it and see the performances of students. I am sure those from private schools will not have performed a shade higher than those from public schools. The situation at the public school level, at least in the states that I know, is high. Some of them are even bringing out brilliant.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, brilliant students.
A lot of times, is it WAEC or Jamb?
I was going to private schools. I was going to private schools. Is sometimes or most times ego trip.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Now, at this point, dear viewers, you can begin to weigh in. I hope that the Olas of Lagos, the Esodudus of Cross River, the concerned citizens, the Awuskos, the Mohammed of Borno, Maiduguri, and all that, and the Mohammed of Abuja, and all that. I hope that you are ready. Let's do this together. How? Okay, they are here already. So let's take this first one. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
You're welcome to KAFTAN TV.
Thank you for having me. I am Sebastian Okewa Greatwood from Benin City, Edo State.
Reverend, right? Okay.
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're welcome to the show, yeah?
Nice to be on with you again.
Thank you.
Benin.
Thanks.
Yeah, first of all, I want to you in particular, I want to say a very big thank you to you for speaking our minds and for trying to express our pain as parents. Unlike your colleague there or the other man in the studio, I want to start by asking him if he does have his children, any of his child in the public school, because he's singing praises of the government-owned school, the public schools, which is in a total mess, as I'm concerned today, ranging from the primary to the secondary. I want to cite an instance, for example, that of Edo State. They are supposed to be the presence of federal government-owned colleges in Edo State, but they are not functioning. They are shadows of themselves. Why do you think that, for example, if the government school close to me, whether federal government college or whatever, is good enough, and I know that even if I go there, even if I have to pay something, I'll pay something reasonable, something that is fair, and my child will get, even if it is not quality, something near quality education. Do you think I would start killing myself to send my child to a private school where most of the teachers are not NCE teachers, not NCE graduate teachers?
You can imagine. So you pay more for less quality.
For less quality because the government has failed as far as the educational sector development is concerned. The government has been irresponsible, has been playing to the gallery as much as I'm concerned concerning educational development, in fact, everything that has to do with education from primary to university in this country, Nigeria, today, for the past 15, 20 years, the federal government of Nigeria has crumbled it themselves. How did all these private schools come about? From primary to secondary school section, they started with government not paying teachers. And the teachers protesting, they went on strike, they stuck at home. From that, many of them now initiated themselves, instead of them to die of hunger, they started...
Reverend, I see you are very passionate about this. And
I'm from lecture houses. After some years from lecture houses, they started converting all this to schools. Because which we now see as alternative. Because even today the government is still not paying them. They are still sitting down at home, still striking federal government colleges, the state government. In fact, all right,
Reverend. Okay, well, we will have to let you go now. so that other people can also participate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Jamb is not an examination. Jamb is not for the good of the parents or for the masses. Jamb is just a money-making venture for themselves and the federal government. So that Jamb should be scrapped.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Like China, Japan, and others, they don't do all those kinds. They don't write.
Thank you, Reverend Sebastian Okenwa. Thank you so very much. Yeah, that's a parent there, and that's exactly what I picture. A lot of people are burdened with unnecessary cost. Why should I pay for Jamb and still come and pay for UTME? This is the same thing. So one has to go. Maybe it has to be the Jamb, or it has to be.
Anyway,
the school.
I have
another guy said, "Let's take this guy." Then after, hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, you're welcome to Matters Horizon.
Yeah, he's Babagera from Taraba.
Oh, you're welcome. How's Taraba?
Taraba is fine, sir.
Okay.
I'm really happy with KAFTAN TV. They're giving us more light.
Thank you. We'll keep doing our best.
Matter arising in this nation. So we are very much happy. You know, in private schools, I am telling you the public school is better than any other private school. You know, the government has just ignored the public school without even motivating the teachers.
Like the guy
and that is
said.
why people are rushing their children to private school, which most of the things there they teach with cramming.
Rote.
Students, when you give them, they are always there to learn things that they will cram. Bring them back home and write the very thing that they studied at the school. You will see there is something as if you have not done even what you are saying about. Because in most of the private schools, they taught pupils the cramming. But I'm telling you, public school is because the teachers are not motivated. And they are ready to give the best, because in the public school we have qualified teachers. Mostly are NCEs and degree holders. When you are not motivated, how can you put
Can you give your best?
Deliver.
How can you give your best?
So you see in private school, when people rush there, they give them much money, and at home, parents are still rushing to them, helping them in one way or the other. So they will also give the children extra moral lessons.
All right, Babagera, we will need to.
Be thinking that private school is the best. I'm telling you, public school is the best school.
Thank you very much, Babagera. We'll need to move ahead now.
Just be motivated, and government will see wonders in public school.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You see, what faces you is backing the other
Another
person.
True.
Today, I still believe very strongly, and this is our last caller, that public schools are still much better than
Private schools. Public schools.
Public schools.
Okay.
Much better than a number of private schools.
That's what this guy said.
We know what we are talking about. It's not just because whether you have a child in the school or not. All have been tried. You understand? There are good schools. There are very good private schools. And there are very good public schools.
Yeah.
If there are problems in public schools, let us face it
And deal
together
with it.
and deal with it. Don't let us throw away the baby with the bath water. Like saying that how many people can afford? Because some people can afford private schools. We now believe that public schools are trash. They should be thrown away. Like it has been said, if you are not an NCE holder,
You shouldn't teach.
you will not teach, even in primary schools.
Whether it is private or public, it should be the standard. It should be the minimum.
There is a law There is a law.
But it's not being enforced
by the private schools.
Are they above the law? Okay. Are they above the law?
In many states that we know, the benchmark remains SE. If you do not have SE, you cannot teach in government schools. At least I know in my state. You know, and in many states like that. In fact, states that still have unqualified teachers, they are running programs in service trainings for them
to upgrade
through NTI, and they are upgrading them.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome.
Thank you. This is Comrade Jale, you're family from Obakuku.
Káàbọ̀ sórí ètò, sir.
Thank you, my brother. So let us be sincere to ourselves. If you say we should cancel Jamb, you are very right. What the menace they committed this year is a problem to many families. Look at what happened at Osun State. Look at what happened at Ondo State, where children have been transferred from one local government to the other. So see the accident that happened.
Yes.
That's point number one. Then secondly, the computer they are using,
yes,
they are not, they don't have accuracy on that computer. Some of the computers they are not functioning. So our problem here and there, if they can come back to the past experience of Jamb taking, that is better than nowadays. They say they want to develop education. Is that the way? Is that the way out? We are saying we are giants of Africa, giant for nothing. So it is better they cancel it or do otherwise.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Jale.
Well, like we said, Jamb needs to fine-tune its system. So many things happened this past exam.
Like they say, you either shape up
or ship out.
Yeah.
The accident he mentioned, it was a very bad one. Candidates moving from one state to another and they had an accident. What Jamb promised us is that a child will not need to travel to get to his exam locations. But we have discovered that that is not so, especially in this last one. And then many of those CBT centers they are using are not in themselves up to date or in good shape. So many students complained, so many candidates complained that they had internet challenges. Some